Aries.
I'm there.
Aria.
Listen.
Welcome back to another video.
We're doing it really fast this time. Really fast.
Really fast because we don't have much time. We gotta go.
We've got 10 films to watch. All the Conjuring. We hate them all.
We hate them all.
And we're watching them in chronological order because we're stupid.
We're not stupid. We're just trying to be different. We're like, oh, everyone's done the Conjuring.
We're not like other girls.
But we're like,
because we're not girls.
It's finished now, right?
What?
The Conjuring is finished.
Hopefully. They said last rites, so we're going to pray that was the last movie.
Yeah, so we thought, oh, we're like one of the few people who haven't spoken about it that has the privilege of like watching it in actual date order.
And we have a horror podcast, so we can do what we want.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't tell us what to do. So today we're doing the second film in the chronological order, which is Annabelle Creation, which I believe takes place in 1956. Which is a year after
The Nun.
The Nun takes place. We're doing it by the year that it really happened in real life.
Before we
get 1956.
1956. Just to remind you to like, subscribe, follow our podcast, rate our podcast. You can find us wherever you find your podcasts. We are on Instagram, TikTok, and Letterboxd.
Mm-hmm. Now, what I will let you know about this film, Annabelle Creation, is that it is the second Annabelle film.
Yeah, but it's a prequel.
But it's a prequel.
So I've not seen the original Annabelle.
Yeah, so if listeners have seen the original Annabelle, we haven't. I've only ever seen the first Conjuring.
I think I saw the first Conjuring, yeah. That's it.
That's all I saw before doing this series.
Yeah.
So if you've seen the first Annabelle film and we're being weird or ignorant, it's because we've not seen it.
Because we don't know. We don't know.
It hasn't happened yet. We're still in 1956.
I literally have a section in this book that's like marked as like questions because there are things I just don't know that I'll talk to you about at the end of the film.
Okay. Let's get the spoiler-free synopsis going.
So I'm going to read this out and then you can decide if you're coming or going. Years after their daughter's death, a doll maker welcomes a nun and orphans into their home who become targets of his possessed creation, Annabelle. So decide, are you staying? Are you going? What's going on?
Spoilers ahead. We open up on a doll maker shop. We're seeing shots of dolls.
It's like the Coraline opening but less good.
Or
that one scene from Toy Story 2.
Did Jeepers Creepers open up on the... Anyway, the point is, it's given a lot of things. Chucky, that's what I'm thinking.
Chucky! One of the Chucky sequels.
Yeah, one of the Chucky sequels has like an assembly line with like dolls and melted plastic.
We should do the Chucky franchise at some point.
We will. Maybe we'll finally do that one film that kind of started this whole thing.
Yeah.
We'll do Chucky, but only the gay ones.
We could do all of them, it's fine. We're doing these shitty films.
That's true. But we see the doll maker, he's making a doll and he's painting on the doll's box.
Yeah.
And it says 1 of 100.
Yeah.
So it's like a limited edition doll. And then it says, no, it doesn't say Annabelle.
It just says the name of the
But he puts
box.
the Annabelle doll in it.
Yeah. And I'm like, what child would want to play with that?
Yeah. It's hideous. Even for the like 50s, I'm like...
Isn't it? Like they had nice looking dolls in the 50s and that.
I don't like this doll maker.
No.
But apparently he's a hit.
Yeah. He's playing like hide and seek with his daughter, but they use like notes. That's like a very distinct thing about this, and that carries on to like the doll later on.
They sneak them on the doors or they'll leave them on the floor.
Yeah, and they're like, come here, closer.
Found you, yeah. And he like tickles her. The mother comes in, she tickles her.
Yeah, they're a very cute little family. Like it kind of establishes it very quickly.
Everything's perfect. She's like, I think like 8 years old. I can't remember.
Yeah.
They put her to bed, and then there's a record player
that plays You Are My Sunshine,
which is her favorite song, I guess.
And she also listens to the creepiest version of the song.
Yeah, and we point this out because if you watched our first review of The Nun, they also had a creepy record player.
I think it was a radio in that one, but yeah, creepy music thing.
They definitely had a creepy music thing, but I don't think...
I think it was an old radio, but it could have been a record player. I don't think it matters, but it's a creepy music thing.
It's creepy, glitchy music.
Yeah. And we're like, is this going to happen in every movie?
And then there's a sort of short time skip.
Yeah.
And we're at church, outside the church with our cutesy family.
Yeah.
And that's when someone at church comes over to dad and says, oh...
Our dolls are sold out, like, you have to make us more. And the mum's like, they're ready, like, you come over whenever you want. Yeah.
Which gave the impression that the father was like a perfectionist, and the mother's like, they're ready. You can have them.
Yeah. And
they're driving home, the tire breaks down, the dad gets out to fix it.
There's like a screw that falls, and the girl, she's like, oh, I'll get it, and then she just get hit by a car. It's like, boom, like straight away. Like, I did not expect that from like a I think it's like a 15, this movie is, like a mainstream jump scare horror movie. I was pleasantly surprised that they killed the kid on camera, honestly.
Yeah. Then the cut was like quite late.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you do see contact.
I applaud it for its boldness in this instance. It doesn't carry on with this boldness, but
no,
I'm glad it's here for this one thing.
It skips into the future.
Yes.
Obviously, off camera, you hear the mother scream. You presume this kid is dead, and then it skips how long into the future? 12 years.
12 years later, and
we
there's
see
a bus full of orphans.
Well, what we do see is it's the same road
that
the girl died on, but now there's a crucifix on the side of the road.
Where she passed.
And then a van zooms past.
Yeah.
And we see 2 orphans in the back.
It's even marked with the name of the old orphanage in it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's about 6 orphanages in total, but there's 2 main ones. 6 orphans in total on this thing, and there's 2 main ones having a conversation.
Which are 2 blonde girls. One is named
Janice.
And the other one is named Linda.
Yeah.
Which is quite funny because those sound like old lady names, but you have to remember that our old ladies were little girls in the 50s. And that's why it's funny.
Imagine old ladies in like 50 years are going to be called Reese and Dea. That's crazy.
Imagine that. Like, how mad is that?
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have fucking trans grannies named Sakura. Like, just...
No, all those people who named their kids after, like, Harry Potter and Game of Thrones. There's going to be a 79-year-old Khaleesi with, like, a 82 named Ron.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Crazy.
Fucking 52-year-old Bakugo. I'm just...
What's that one? Ichigo D. Jaeger Guts. Oh, what was his name?
I don't remember.
So funny.
The point is, in the future, we're going to have Goku granddads, and it's going to be very cool. But yes, our 2 main, Linda and Janice, sorry.
Janice, it's because we got that one meme stuck in our head, the Shanice, you're moving your mouth a lot like a rat. Yappa, yappa, yappa. Shut it, please.
It's stuck.
So no, it's Janice.
For clarification, it's Dea's fault.
Janice.
They are not related, even though they're both blondes. But they are like best friends.
They're like, oh, I promise we can be sisters. They do like a chatterbox thing.
Yeah, they're sort of like, oh, if they want to take one of us, they have to take both of us. Sister
babes,
pact.
Your kids in the 1950s, you have no rights. Like
they don't know that they're kids.
Oh, that's true.
But Janice seems to be kind of more of our main character, and she has polio.
Yeah, she's got like a leg brace on that she struggles to walk with. I think she wears crutches as well. Yeah, she has a crutch.
Mm-hmm. We also meet the sister Charlotte.
Yeah.
Who is the nun with the orphanage, and then
not the nun, but a nun.
Yeah, a nun. Not any nun that we met in the other nun films.
Yeah.
Just a new nun. And driving is the priest, who obviously I guess owns the orphanage. I don't know.
Or he used to look after the orphanage. Well, he's not coming with them to this new place. He's dropping them off apparently. And they're talking about how the Mullins are like letting them stay there as a miracle, and like they should take what they can get. Like they don't really have anywhere else to go. Yeah. So they're really establishing that they literally, this is their last stop after this orphanage is shut down. Like this is the only place they can go.
Yeah. And they pull up to this giant house, and out comes the father from the beginning of the film.
Yep.
B was the little girl who died. Yeah. And this is B's father.
Yep.
And he's letting all these kids in.
He's a bit stoic and stern.
Yeah, he's a bit like stiff with the kids.
Yeah, and he's a bit like, he kind of makes a face when Janice gets off the bus, and the nun has to be like, oh no, she's not going to be a burden. She was just affected by polio. Like she's getting healthier every day, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but he's like, oh sorry, I just have a resting bitch face. I actually have a stair chair inside.
Yeah.
So they go inside, and there's this antique stair chair lift.
Yeah.
And they put Janice in it.
Only activates when she's buckled in. That's important.
He puts Janice in it. He buckles her up. And she goes up to the top alone. Like, everyone else just stays downstairs going,
super slow.
That's so cool. I've never seen this.
No one wants to walk up with her, no.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward, honestly.
Yeah.
But it was cool. And it looked cool. It reminded me so much of, like, Casper, the friendly ghost.
Oh, my
when
God.
She sits in that chair.
Yeah.
And it sucks her through, and it, like, tries to brush her teeth and does all the stuff before it takes her
like
to the lab.
Like a Wallace and Gromit chair.
Yeah, that's exactly what it reminded me of, which is so stupid, but it was because it looked like it had that old antique look to it, but it was obviously like a moving chair, and it just like immediately...
Modern technologies, but whimsical.
Yeah, that's
they need to add more whimsy back into technology, because I'm really sick and tired of everything being a glass brick.
Where's the whimsically?
So they're kind of exploring the house, and so there's different things that gets established. Like,
well, mind you, when she gets to the top of the stairs, instantly we get our first creep moment where she's sort of stuck there, and then in the background of the hallway we see someone run from the left to the right. Yeah, that's our first instance of, because there's not supposed to be anyone up there. But then as you said, the kids start to explore the rooms.
There's like a few things that get established, like that the Mullins sleep downstairs in a room because the wife is not very well and she stays in there, and they don't really get to see a lot of the wife very often, and then the daughter's room is locked off. It also establishes that the 2 older girls don't really want to hang out with the youngest 2, the Janice and Linda, so they are like, oh no, we want these girls to sleep with us around, the middle girls essentially, to stay with us instead.
It's very convenient. There's the 2 older girls, the 2 middle, and then our 2 young blondes.
Yeah, but it's okay because the 2 youngest, they're like besties anyway, and they're like, oh well, you want to be my bunkmate? Yeah, okay, like let's stay here, let's be together forever. And they do like this cute prayer. They're like, let's pray a family adopts us both so we can be real sisters, that kind of stuff.
Prayer, I know, so much fucking prayer. And I know we have so much more prayer to see in the Conjuring series. I will say also something that's quite intriguing to you as a viewer is you are told that the mother or the wife is bedridden because she was in an accident many years ago.
Yeah.
Now, we're thinking back to her daughter dying, which we saw in the beginning.
We're like,
but
what
she
accident?
doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
The daughter does. So what happened since then? Just because that is in your head while you're watching it, so I mention it.
Yeah.
Our main girl, Janice, while everyone's exploring, she discovers the dead daughter's old bedroom, which is locked.
Yeah.
And Mr. Miller, the father, Mullen Caller girl.
Melon Ball.
Muller Corner?
Muller Corner.
Anyway.
Mr. Muller Corner.
Mr. Muller Corner is like, this door stays locked. Like,
don't go in there. Yeah.
And then her friend's like, oh, come into this room. And they got their own room together, which is cute.
Around dinner time, you kind of see like a little bit more of the dynamics of the kids and stuff. Noise is heard. Is it a bell or is it just like rustling? When the dad goes to...
Oh, it's a bell.
A bell, yeah. So the bell rings, and so the...
Mrs. Muller Corner has a bell by her bed that she dings multiple times during the film. It's like sort of like, I need help, basically. I need water, I need whatever.
Yeah. And so he goes and like tends to her, whereas the oldest kid, Carol, she's just like really nosy and just like peering into the room, and it's kind of implied that like Mrs. Muller Corner is like really like scary or something, but that's not the case at all in this film.
Because she's got like sheets hanging off the bed, so she's very obscured. I don't know why she was scared, to be honest. I guess you're just a kid and you sort of get in your head, especially in a new place with a mysterious thing like that. You start to just paint a bigger picture. Like, what is this creepy, creepy pasta? Like, who's this lady that we're not allowed to see that never leaves her bed? And why is she shrouded in these curtains?
Yeah.
But she's like almost crying while she's peeking.
Yeah, dinner ends. They do that cute prayer scene I mentioned earlier. And then...
we also see the nun's bedroom. And she has a dumbwaiter that we see getting haunted, like it keeps opening itself, which we are like, oh, that's a haunting. But she just thinks like, oh, it must be an issue or like broken, which later she raises to Mr. Muller. Yeah,
he fixes it later. In the middle of the night, Janice gets woken up by like a note going to the door.
Underneath
it. And so she does what the note says, which is like, follow me or something like that.
It says, I
can't read any of the notes in this movie. I am blind.
It's like, follow me, whatever. She goes out and another one comes under the door, dead daughter's bedroom, and it says, in here.
And the door is suddenly open, like unlocked. And then she looks into the dollhouse.
And there's a light.
And there's a key in there. And so she finds it. And then she finds a hole in the wall.
Well, she sees there's a built-in wardrobe. It's not like hidden. It's very obvious that it's there.
Oh, my bad.
It's like it kind of protrudes from the wall. It's also kind of different color than the actual wall.
It was just dark, so I couldn't tell.
Fair enough. Like, it doesn't even have a handle. It's so protruding that you just like pull the door. That's how obvious it is.
Okay.
Just to point out how blind you are. But
thanks, you bitch.
She opens it and the inside is coated in pages of a book.
Yeah.
And in a chair in the corner is
the Annabelle doll.
Annabelle.
And this is what I said. Annabelle looks like she's on Ozempic because why are her cheekbones that?
Yeah.
like protruding.
And even Janice, our little girl, she realizes that this is kind of creepy. So she closes the door and like walks away. But then the door opens itself. So she goes back and she locks the door and then goes to put the key back in the dollhouse, but the door opens itself again.
Yeah. And I believe there's also like a kind of haunting bit where like there's like a sheet that looks like a ghost.
Yeah, there's a sheet ghost.
She notices that Mr. Mullins is outside with like a light and she doesn't know why.
And so she goes back to bed.
Yeah.
And then the next day, the most important thing that happens next is that she goes to Sister Charlotte and wants to confess.
Yeah.
So they sit back to back like good Catholics, and she says, I went into that room, it was unlocked, and whatever. And then the nun is like, you shouldn't do that, that is so wrong, and like, they're trusting us, and blah, 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 we're on our last leg. But then the main reason why Janice is telling her this is because she wants to tell her that she saw something really creepy.
But Sister Charlotte doesn't give a shit because she's like, if we get kicked out, we have nowhere to go, we're going to be on the street.
She's
like what
you
you
sinned?
doing?
And it's like, yeah, I came to confess a sin, girl. Like, why are you acting so shocked that I sinned?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Linda's trying to be like friends with the teen girls, but they're not having it. And they're like, why don't you play hide and seek? And so she's going around, she's looking under like the stairs, and she kind of finds like a secret room with the Annabelle doll. Meanwhile, the teen girls, they go into the barn and they see a scarecrow, which one of them, I believe it's Carol, is like super shit scared of.
And one of the older girls like plays with it, goes to flirt with it, and then like smacks its face, and she's like, ha 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 ha, I'm sorry. But we're going through the plot so quickly right now, and we're not talking much besides just pushing the plot. But it's because there's not much to talk about.
No, it's a very...
and that's what you'll find.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what you'll find with like a lot of these Conjuring films, especially the ones we have watched so far. Is it's just a lot of nothing, and then almost too much at the end.
Literally. Like, I feel like I've got a lot of plot points noted down just because I don't remember everything that's happening in the movie, because it just happens quite, like, quickly. It's like, oh, they're doing this, and then there's a haunting, and then they're eating dinner, and then they're doing this, and it's like, everything is, like, slightly relevant, because it obviously adds to the plot, so you have to mention it, but then also, it's not that relevant, because it's, like, it doesn't mean anything. I don't feel anything when I see the next scene is literally, oh, the guy fixes the dumbwaiter, and the nun says, oh, look, I have this picture from the Nuns of St. Carter, which is from The Nun, which hadn't come out yet, which is the reference to their next film.
It's implying that Sister Charlotte was at the abbey from The Nun, like the haunted nun church, right before the shit went off, she left. It's kind of what it's implying, which is like interesting and cool for us because we're watching in chronological order. But for someone who hadn't seen The Nun yet, it's kind of quite a boring scene of just dwelling on this random nun. I imagine
that, like, on rewatch, or big Conjureverse fans like this stuff. Which is fine, but, like, it just feels very, like, dumb, because especially because they do, I'm just gonna spoil it because I don't give a shit. At the end of this film, they, like, tease the nun coming out, which literally comes out the next year anyway. So I'm like, oh. And will fans of this watching it, like contemporary ones, remember that there was a nun coming out if they're just going to watch it the next year anyway?
No, I don't think so.
Because I think Annabelle Creation was like 2017 and then The Nun is 2018. Like, there's a whole year in between. Like,
and I need to know, like, who is this lover of Conjuring films that you're rewatching these enough to be able to appreciate these little things. And the thing I'll say about the plot as well is it really comes out when we're trying to make these episodes. Because it really, as when we discuss these horror films, we discuss, like, meaning behind them, like, funny little comments,
how our
opinions,
feelings, anecdotes about our lives.
But one of the things we often discuss, and then the main heart of our videos is what these films are about. Like, interesting moments, interesting interactions between characters, like, personalities. And it's just, like, so far in Conjuring, just, like, none of them. Not really.
No, they all feel kind of the same so far.
And I never feel a moment of, like, oh my god, or, like, I'm never shocked, I'm never like, did she really say that, or, like, intrigued by a person. And the biggest thing is I'm never really invested in these people. I will say, when we watched The Nun, it's already out, so I can say this, I was invested in Sister Irene because she had a personality. She was relatable. She was like,
what, the first one or the second one?
The first one. She was cool because it's already out, but she's questioning her faith. We see her go through something. She's kind of got a backstory. She's an interesting character, so it was good, but she's the only character in these films we've watched so far that, like, I have any intrigue in. Which makes it hard when you're seeing a horror because you don't care. I don't care if these people live.
I think the actress for Sister Charlotte was the best actress in this movie.
Yeah.
And that's why, by default, I liked her the most. But she gets nothing to do.
To be fair, there was only 2 actresses, the rest were kids.
I think, I mean, at points they do clever things, like the tickling scene in the beginning of the film I think is clever, because your child actor for like 2 minutes of the film, of course you might not get a good one, right? And so, okay, tickling, that makes sense, because then the kid just has to laugh. Like, that's smart, but they don't do that for the rest of the film when they're relying on child actresses the entire time. And I'm thinking to myself, like, they're not thinking of clever ways to kind of work around that because they're doing a by-the-numbers horror movie.
And the most unique thing to me about this film is the fact that the main focus and main characters are little girls. They're these, like, little girls, obviously our main 2 girls, but even the other girls, they're the main characters. Sister Charlotte is obviously there, but the priest isn't there. Mrs. Mullen doesn't come till the end of the film. And Mrs. Mullen, we see him on and off. So the core of this film are these little girls who are in this orphanage. Now, I'm glad they have, like, relationships with each other that aren't all positive and some are negative, but they don't even utilize the one thing that's unique about them. Make it feel like, one of those, like, old, like, family films, about, like, a ragtag group. Like, make it like Annie. Like, I know Annie sounds silly.
Make it like The Goonies.
That's what I mean, like The Goonies, like one of those old family films where, like, you're invested in these kids.
They have different dynamics, and some of them hate each other and some of them love each other, right? And it's like, fair enough, they're gonna have complicated relationships because they're like pseudo siblings if they're living in this orphanage together, right?
Exactly.
And so they're gonna have rivalries and they're gonna have favorites, which is fine, and they do that to an extent, but they do it in the most, like, bland way possible, that it's like, it doesn't actually give the girls any character, it just gives their dynamic in a very, like, Carol doesn't like the younger girls because she thinks they are lame. I'm like, okay, great. What is Carol like? Magazines, boys.
That's exactly why I compared to...
There are the two middle girls.
Like Annie and the Goonies, is because when you have those group of kids, they have distinct personalities. They're archetypes. They're fun things I want to consume. But it's exactly what you said.
The two middle girls get nothing to do with this entire movie.
Oh, yeah.
The only reason I recognize them is because one of them I get confusing for Linda because she's also short and white and has a blonde bob, and the other one is a black girl, and she's the only one.
Yeah.
So I'm like, those are the only reason I could remember them, that
For
they were
me,
there.
the main reason is because they're not as tall as the older ones, and they're not our two main ones.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, those are the other two. It's kind of my thing. They have like no personality. Even the older girls don't really have a person. Like, they don't have anything.
No.
And they don't do much. You don't
it's
care
like,
about these people.
I wonder if the like crew have ever known or been a teen girl for this movie. Do you know what I mean?
That's so funny. But yeah.
Like I think, because we're gonna get to this is gonna come out in like next month, right? But we did also watch The Nun 2, and that I feel like handles teenage girl bullying much better than this one.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's just my opinion. Anyway, so Sister Charlotte gets Mr. Mullins to fix her dumbwaiter. Then there's the reference to St. Carter. Then so they're having this like
slumber party,
right? And originally they're just talking about like boys or whatever.
By slumber party, we just mean the girls are just like chit-chatting.
Yeah, the like three oldest ones. I think the fourth one is like nowhere to be seen, but she's also disappears at points in this movie. It's really weird. Again, no character.
She doesn't exist. Even the filmmakers didn't realize she wasn't on set.
Yeah, and they're talking about boys, and then like they have like a really awkward moment with Mr. Mullins where like they just completely stop talking when he like passes by their room, and they just have like a stare down.
But he stares so weird. They're like, okay. He's like, girls.
I feel like they started staring first. I don't know. It was very odd.
But I think because he looked in his usual way, which is really weird.
Yeah.
Like they're aliens. I don't understand them.
Then the two oldest ones, they kind of under a blanket and they're with a flashlight and they're telling scary stories, and they make up one about Mrs.
I will say there's a little bit intrigue in how he reacts to the girls, which contrasts to how we see him with his daughter. That's kind of interesting, and it does get commented by his wife, who says like, you should be around them more, like, you know, because she obviously like sees that he needs like kids and joy and energy in his life. Yeah. Especially because she can't give it because she's just like bedridden. Yeah. But yeah, it's very interesting. You open up on him being this like joyous dad who's laughing and giggling and tickling, and now he looks at these girls like he doesn't know how to speak to them. Definitely. But yeah, sorry. Anyway, so they're under this blanket telling this ghost story, and I think this is the best scare of the movie, where essentially like they make up a story about Mrs. Mullins, and they're like, she rings that bell and she walks around the house, and if you're not asleep, she'll take you, or something like that. She'll call your name. Yeah, until you turn around, or something like that. And then like they're underneath the sheet with the light. Yeah. And they do really fun shots with the lighting. Yeah. Where the sheet is kind of see-through, and there's this implied cloaked figure. But the light turns off, and so they can only have moonlight, and the moonlight's coming through the sheet, so everything's distorted, right? And so then they hear the bell, and they see a cloaked figure, right? Yeah. And they're like screaming and shit, right? And the figure just goes away, and then Sister Charlotte and Mr. Mullins come, and they're like, what's going on? No, it was creepier than that. And this is where they start doing something that they will do in the next film as well, where, so they see that figure or whatever, but then one of the little girls got up to turn on the light. We don't see it, but it turns on the light, and the girls scream and pull the sheet down, but as they do, there's a masked figure that appears in between them under the sheet. I didn't even see that. But as the sheet whips down, the masked figure disappears with the sheet. Oh, okay. That's like the height of the scare. Which I guess you missed, but that's like the height of the jump scare that happens. But with the light coming on and them screaming, that's when Sister Charlotte runs in. Yeah, Sister Charlotte runs in. Mr. Mullicorner's like, well, my wife couldn't have done that because she hasn't been able to walk for years. Like, what? She could not have been here. And they're like, but it's true. And then they're like, also, the other kids didn't see her. Yeah, the other kids didn't see her. Even the next day, they're like having a conversation, and she's like, did you really see Mrs. Mullins? Jenny says to, I think, someone called Deborah. Oh, she says, yeah, I did. And then the other older girl's like, no, we freaked ourselves out. That's just it. We just freaked ourselves out, like trying to like, you know, rationalize it. I think this is when we do fully see well, not fully, but we see Mrs. Mullins in her room, and we see that she actually has a porcelain mask. We don't see her face, but we see her put it down on the side bed. It's like half a porcelain, like a Phantom of the Opera. Yeah, like Phantom of the Opera mask. Because Sister Charlotte gives her some water, and they're having a conversation and talking about essentially like, you know, grief and stuff. And it really humanizes the mum a lot, especially because the girls think she's so scary. Janice is
outside listening into the conversation, and then she looks and sees a picture of B and then the Annabelle doll sitting next to each other, and she just takes it.
Yeah.
She takes it off the wall and she like hides it under her bed. Well, she does examine it, but she does put it under her bed.
But because she's examining it, and as it gets into the shadow, the eyes of, I can't remember if it was B or Annabelle.
I think it's B.
B's eyes glow. So she keeps putting it to the shadow, which is next to her pillow.
Yeah.
And then out of the shadow, and then into the shadow, just to see, like, why does it keep lighting, which was quite interesting.
Yeah.
I will say, this isn't relevant to this moment, but just the film in general. What I've noticed with this film, and I feel this way about almost every Conjuring film, is it feels like they don't give a damn about characters. They don't even give much of a damn about story. They really just care about the hauntings and the scares. Yeah. It seems like they're the only people who give a shit, because they're like, oh, how can we create a new interesting haunt? How can we play? Okay, we have a bunk bed and we have a sheet. How can we, play with the cinematography? And they do put effort into that. Now, mind you, the SFX fails in many of these films, but the actual the idea behind it, the cinematography, the like, oh, how are we going to shoot this? How do we turn this?
The ideas are great, but the execution, they just do it in the most bread and butter way possible.
But even with that, like. Well, what I mean is like scares like the sheet. Yeah. That they do like a lot of interesting stuff like that, and in the next film, Nun 2, they do a lot of that. Yeah. But that's the only good thing about these films is those scares. But then I don't even find them scary. Yeah. I don't get jump scared.
I do, but again, I didn't even get jump scared that many times in this film.
There you go. But like I don't even get jump scared, and so without the I've got nothing. So I'm like, oh, I'm here for everything else in it, and there's nothing else. Yeah. There's nothing else to take from this. And I think that's why maybe it has such mainstream appeal, is that it's a very mind-numbing story and characters you barely have to follow.
You're like 14 and your parents finally let you go to a horror movie, or like you're seeing someone and you just want to like make out in the back of the cinema.
You just want a moment to like, because every fucking 5 minutes when it gets dark and there's a figure moving in the background, you get to get close to people and be like, oh my god.
You get to hold hands and cuddle.
That feels like the only reason to watch these films. But yeah, that's just something that you notice. We're just like, plot point. Quite interesting scare, plot point.
I have nothing else to say. Like, I just... Yeah.
You're so
I'm just trying to get over this movie. And
it's not even like funny bad. Because the thing is, the actual scares and the ideas of like the filmmaking isn't bad. The camera work is good. Yeah. It's just the writing and the direction that's just...
It's like a fart, but not a satisfying one.
Yeah, that. Like, I almost think that the characters are well written for who they're supposed to be. Yeah. They're just not supposed to be anyone you want to or care to listen to or watch. And that's the fucking problem.
I don't even know. So yeah, she takes the picture, she does the thingy with it, and then... What's it called? Again, Janice wakes up in the middle of the night, goes into B's room, like reads her diary.
Well, Linda follows her in.
Oh yeah, Linda does follow her in. They have a conversation, and
Linda plays with this like toy gun
with the ball and the string, which I thought was kind of sick.
And I do believe they experience, I can't remember what it was, but they experienced a haunt together. Don't remember what it was. Yeah. I think it was just them looking at Annabelle and her head had turned. Yeah. From what they remembered it being. So they experienced something supernatural together in that moment, but nothing crazy. But then Linda leaves, whereas
Janice stays.
Yeah, and then the door, I believe, ends up closing itself.
Yeah, the door closes itself.
She's going through her diary. She gets to the final page, and then it's just empty page.
And then it says, "I've come home,"
which means that someone else or something else has written that.
Doesn't the handwriting look different?
It looks messier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a haunt that happens,
which isn't interesting for us to talk about.
No, because again, we can't. It's so indistinct. The thing is, there's loads of interesting things that happen in like the Conjuring movies, right? Like
in the
haunts, there are like I'm thinking back to the Nun 1, like the bit with the abbess being like not a real nun. That's a cool concept, right?
The hallway with all the crucifixes, and then the wind trying to pull her back into
Love it. The bit we just talked about with the eyes doing the thing, like that's interesting. But then in between all of those really cool haunts, there's really indistinct ones that I cannot remember for the life of me. We watched the film yesterday and I cannot remember it.
The amount of times it's just someone like slightly seeing something out the corner of their eye and just being led somewhere. It's so, and the thing is too, is it feels incredibly, and this is a critique, but it feels incredibly back and forth. Yeah. Because like I said, the structure of these films seems to be identical so far. And in the first 2 acts, no one dies. Yeah. So you know that your main protagonists are going to go through like 24 big and mini haunts before they get to anything serious. So when these little moments are happening, if I'm not learning anything, if I'm not gaining any information...
If it's not visually interesting, I don't give a fuck.
But the thing is, sometimes it is visually interesting, but I need more. Drive the story. Let her discover something else. Something that makes me, as like a listener, go like, oh, there's a big mystery here that we didn't know. But it's nothing interesting.
Like, I don't know. Ghost movies in general don't scare the shit out of me. And haunted dolls movies, unless the doll is super creepy, like, it's not gonna get to me, you know?
Yeah, and I think it doesn't have to be scary.
No.
When they make these films, it's clear that they want them to just be scary. They don't care about anything but it being scary. But the thing is, it's not. And the thing is, when you have ghost movies, I hardly ever get scared of them. I'm watching them because they're exploring grief. And they're exploring presence and generational trauma and then things like, what's it called? Like guilt.
Yeah. Again, you can do these well, right? Like, I'm thinking of movies with haunted toys in it, and I'm thinking of Caveat, which is like, they've got like this really fucked up looking rabbit that like bangs on a drum whenever there's like a ghost nearby, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. Or The Boy, which has a really cool twist in it at the end, which is kind of like a mediocre movie for half of it, but then the other half, once the twist happens, you're like, wait, this is really cool, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, even them I can remember more than Annabelle, because I don't give a fuck about Annabelle, you know? Even a shitty film like Baby Oopsie, where the baby is like swearing and like stabbing people in the eye and shit, I'm like, I would much rather watch that than this.
And the thing is, it looks like one of those films where it does something and it's like, oh, this is so cliche and boring, but then people go, but you don't understand, they were the first to do it. Everyone else is cliche and boring.
But they weren't.
But that's the issue with The Conjuring, is it does all those cliche boring things, but they're not the first to do it. They don't innovate anything, at least not so far in these two films. They haven't innovated
many
anything.
Haunted doll movies before and after this. There's many ghost movies before and after this. Movies about orphans and nuns, loads of them.
Also, I predicted the end of the film, or like Annabelle's like creation, let's say, in the first act. It was like, I was like, oh, did they blah blah blah, you'll hear it later. And it was like, that's what ended up happening. I was like, okay, that's what I thought. I literally said it to you so matter of fact. I was like, oh, it's usually this, isn't it? And it was, because they're just doing the usual thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't understand how these movies make so much money. I don't.
How have they made so many? Maybe it's different when we get to the actual Conjuring films. Maybe the two main actors playing the couple, Ed
and Lorraine Warren,
maybe they're just amazing. Maybe they're electric. And
I don't remember them being
neither
amazing.
do I, but maybe that's what will shock us. Maybe that's why it's, because we're technically watching like the spin-offs right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I think we've got a couple more movies before we get to The Conjuring. Yeah. So then Janice finally starts to run away. Then the house starts to kind of morph. Like the hallway she was going to run down to get back to her room. And so what she decides to do is she decides to take the stair lift.
Wait, you're missing something important.
Oh, am I?
Yeah. Before she leaves the room, she turns around and sees B, who is in the room, and walks towards the window to look outside. So she walks behind her and it's like, B, is that you? And then she turns around and suddenly she has a demon face and she goes, I want your soul. And her body morphs into this like navy skinned demon and she starts clawing at Janice's legs and Janice has to crawl across the floor. And that's when she enters the hallway. The hallway elongates. She
gets on the stair lift, but she forgets to buckle herself in, which is the one fucking thing they established. It's not like loads of buttons. It's literally a buckle and a switch.
Yeah, and she must have used it like at least 6 times now.
Anyway, so she gets in, it starts moving.
The chair goes all the way down to the bottom. Now, she stays there for way too many seconds, but then the chair starts to go back up.
Why doesn't she just unbuckle herself?
It's so slow, and I think this was supposed to be creepy, but to me it was just funny. But the chair's just moving very slowly up the stairs, and obviously there's a danger up top, so you're thinking, oh my gosh, she's being pulled back into the demon.
She's like, no, don't take me.
So she's grabbing onto the banister. The banister's snapping because she's holding onto it so hard. Instead of
those little like ball things on the top of it.
Instead of just undoing the belt. Again, she forgets about the belt. Just undo the belt and fall down the stairs. Or when she got down there, she was in such a rush at the top of the stairs. Why is it when she got to the bottom? Because it sits at the bottom for a few seconds. When she got to the bottom, where did the rushing go? Why didn't she pull that
Did she not think the demon, who is bipedal, by the way, and walking around, could just walk down the stairs with her?
The chair gets sucked back up to the top, and then that's when...
She just gets lifted up into the void, and then just, like, her, like, boot drops down, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, she's just, like, gone forever now? Is that, like, her death?
Oh, damn.
And, like, I guess we're following Linda for the rest of the movie. No, it just drops her straight away.
The thing is, I was shocked because, as we said, like, the protagonist never dies that early on. So I remember telling you, I was like, wait, is she just gone now? Wait, is that it? Like,
I'm like, that would have been really interesting for these films.
I was like, I almost got to the point of, like, caring about her, and she's gone. Oh, I guess too late.
Oh my god, they're so Hitchcock, they're so psycho. Like, they get rid of the main character, like, straight away. Nope.
Also, they act like she, like, fell down the stairs. She was dropped from the heavens down to the bottom floor, like, not the stairs, because, you know, like, spiral staircases have that gap in the middle. She was dropped from the gap, But she survives, and we literally immediately cut to the next day.
And she's coming back home in a wheelchair.
We assume, or I think it is said, but like from like, you know, whatever doctor that was in town. And Mr. Mullins pushing her in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk to her though.
Well, Miss Charlotte's talking to her.
Yeah, and that's when, again, Janice is like, Miss Charlotte, we need to leave. You know how you said God's presence is always around us? I feel an evil presence.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that pisses me off about this.
Yeah.
Is that religion is already so annoying. Mm-hmm. But is not the one benefit of doing, like, being religious or being in a haunting, not saying horror film, but like a haunting situation with a nun, is that they will believe your religious psychosis. Like when someone goes, I feel Jesus, but I also feel the devil. Like, the one good thing about you being a nun
is that you also believe in the devil.
Yeah. Like, if this is any other film, any other situation, like, it's so, I'm not saying it's a critique of the film, of course, because I don't believe a nun would believe it, but it's just so annoying just looking at it in a meta way, where I'm like, any other situation you tell another human being, like, I'm actually being haunted, I'm being followed by this spirit, the devil, they're not gonna believe you. But I'm like, this is the one time where they can. Like, why be religious if not even in this very niche scenario you'd go,
let's call a priest.
You know?
It's funny because in The Exorcist, the original, she's not religious in that movie. She's tried all the like medications and shit for her daughter. She's like, right, now it's time to call a priest, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas this is like, you're a nun. Like, maybe that should be your first like port of call.
But she doesn't.
She don't give a fuck.
I don't know, because they don't believe in mental health or anything. So it's weird to me that she's like, oh, you're just struggling to adjust. Since when do religious people believe in that? I thought everything was like a spirit or was God or something. So why didn't she go, well, maybe you could use like a priest praying over you to help with this transition? Like, why are you religious but not religious? Like, do religion. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
Never doing it when it's useful.
Anyway, so now fucking Janice has to sleep downstairs on this sofa because she can't get up and down. She's not going up and down the stairs because they're like, oh, you've already fallen once. Like, no.
Her like good leg doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. And so she gives her doll to Linda because she's like, then I'll always be with you. And
she undoes their pack.
Oh yeah, she's like, get adopted, like, go live your life because they're not going to want me because I'm broken now.
But she thinks she's doing her a favour. It's sad.
Yeah, it is sad. And then when she goes to sleep, she wakes up in the middle of the night again, Kel Surprise, right? We see the dirtiest footprints coming up to her, right?
Nasty.
I said, wash your feet.
Oh, you're skipping the ball.
Oh.
They do a very obvious haunt here, but Linda has...
I forgot it again because it's so shit.
She has a toy gun and it shoots a ball that's on a string. And so she's got her bedroom door wide open. There's light in the bedroom, but she's shooting the ball into the darkness, and then you wind up the ball to bring the string back. And it's such fucking, like, I've seen this a million times in a million different movies.
Yeah, and then the demon pulls the gun in. Yeah,
from her hand. That's why she freaks out and climbs into the bed.
Yeah.
And then that's when the nasty, dirty footprints
come in. I swear they were going to Janice's. Oh no, they were going to...
No, they were coming to the bunk bed, but she's peering over the top of the bunk bed.
Yeah.
And it kind of seems like they kind of climb into the bottom bunk.
Yeah.
So she sat on the top bunk thinking, is someone down there? That's when she looks...
Oh yeah, she looks between the wall and the bed and she sees the Annabelle doll looking up at her.
And then a demon hand grabs the doll and pulls it away.
Yeah.
And again, they probably thought they ate with that, but I was like, okay. Again, like, as a viewer of like a lot of horror films, like I do have like pattern recognition. Again, that's not me too. I want to call myself crazy and think, but you watch enough, you get it, right? And so you're already expecting where the scares are coming, when they're not coming, when people are going to die, when they're not going to die.
But it also doesn't help that this film is very formulaic. Barely any of the scares happen during the daytime. There is one, which I'll give it, but like it's always middle of the night, one of the girls wakes up.
And that's what I was going to say about The Conjuring. Like, you already, as a horror fan, have that. So when you have to watch something like Conjuring, this is why I'm like, how does it appeal to anyone but, like, someone who doesn't watch horror? But when it comes to...
But that's what I think it does. I think that these movies are for people who don't like horror, which is probably why we're the wrong people to review it, but you know.
But when you're someone who watches horror and then you go to Conjuring, and as you said, it's so formulaic, it's even worse. Because you already have the ability to predict and know when things are going to go a certain type of way. But then this one is even more stuck in its own formula that by the time you're on your second film, you know exactly what it's going to do. You know exactly what every moment's going to be like. So I don't care, because I know Linda's going to be fine. I literally, let me up on the fucking thing and see, oh wait, we're only starting the second act. Okay, yeah, she's not going to die. Yeah. She's fine. We'll wait till the next one. It's that mind-numbingly like uninteresting to me. And the scare isn't that scary. I will say the effects in this film take a little bit of a step up than the first Nun movie, which is funny because the first Nun movie comes after this film.
Yeah.
But somehow...
But I also think this one uses some practical effects.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Which is obviously easier to do it. Because I think these movies are made like a conveyor belt, especially in the 2010s. Like, I think when it gets to the end of it, like Nun 2 and Last Rites and stuff, they give a little bit more time in between them. I think they give like 2 years. But these ones, they were coming out like every single year. And I think it was literally like conveyor belt, like now we're shooting and the other one's in post and the other one's in pre. Do you know what I mean? And so I think that there wasn't enough time to do like proper special effects properly, I think. That's
crazy to me because the combination of physical was what made it better.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, oh, it looked better because of this. And then it's like, oh, we didn't have the chance to... The way you're saying it's like a negative. You had the privilege of combining some physical into it.
You should have just done it... Like, this film isn't a hard film to do just completely physically either. Mm-hmm. You just have to take some more time with it. Anyway, it's the next day. Linda's put on a hill for some reason. Not Linda. Fucking Janice is put on a hill because she needs some fresh air in her wheelchair.
She puts outside on a slant.
Yeah. As soon as the nun walks away, she's literally... A force pushes her down the hill.
Well, it's a demon version of Sister Charlotte.
Yes.
We don't see her face, but her hands and her whole body are grey. And Janice can't see her face. She's only looking like, oh, Sister Charlotte, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So it appears to be a nun, but it's obviously a demon nun.
She gets shut in the barn.
She gets thrown against some metal frame.
And she's like crawling out the metal frame, but then like something...
There's a cupboard in the corner, like a wardrobe.
Yeah.
And something trying to get out of it, but the door's blocked. And so she crawls underneath like the floorboards, basically.
Yeah.
And she's underneath this crawl space. And like the banging stops. And she's sitting there alone.
Yeah.
And that's when she looks to her left. And there is B, the little girl, in ghost form, who's crawling towards her and climbs on top of her and then vomits black into her mouth.
Vomits into her mouth.
This is another failed shot for me with the little girl. And this is what we talk about sometimes with their poor execution. Mm-hmm. It was such a bad shot, sorry. She's underneath this crawl space. Now, the scariest thing about a crawl space, when you're thinking about that scene and that moment, is the fact that you have limited movement to get away from something, and also the image of something moving towards you faster than you can move away from it.
And also the fact that she can't move her legs at all.
That as well, although, to be fair, in a crawl space, she's probably better than most people, because she's used to it. We've seen her crawl before. But this little girl, when she's under there, it's the most unfrightening scene. She doesn't move very quickly towards her. She doesn't look like a scary thing. Also,
it's because it's taken from the side. You can see her full body.
Exactly.
And it's like, the thing is, even the first nun did that really much better in that scene where he's in the coffin. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, because it does like that fake out.
Yeah. And then the hands behind him.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't expect hands to come from behind.
But this one, it's because they don't do hauntings well in the daytime, where they should do more hauntings in the daytime because that would make it more interesting and less formulaic. But whenever they do it in the daytime, they can't get over the fact that they have more light now, and they don't get used to that at all. Mm-hmm. And so the fact is that you can see the whole thing, and it's like, that's not scary.
They should have had a shot, and I was gonna say that, so it was the wide shot. The wide shot was the issue. And I was gonna say they could have done something different with the, like, you know, the camera angles, cinematography, whatever, where they could have put the camera under the floorboard, more from Janine's like perspective. Maybe even she's like falling on her back. Yeah. And she's looking between her legs, and here is this like creature crawling really quickly towards her. Yeah. That like image of something very speedy coming, like that would already be more interesting and scary.
So effective here. That too. But they didn't.
Even when she climbs on top of her, it's very slow.
And like, the vomit is like projectile. It's not even like a gross. It just looks like water with food coloring in it.
And it's also, again, with the vomit, too wide of a shot. Yeah. Show us like the vomit coming down on us, or show us like the vomit going into her mouth.
Even like something's being forced into her mouth. That would have been scarier because it's more visceral.
But it's just this wide shot of this not very scary looking little girl. Yeah. Kind of gently climbing on top of another one.
And vomiting in her mouth.
Which, like, yeah, it's gross, really gross. But like, I'm sure that's happened in real life.
I'm sure
there've been two kids play fighting and one of them is thrown up in the other one's mouth, because that's what it looked like.
It could have been grosser.
Grosser than vomit in your mouth?
Like, I think they could have made the vomit grosser. Because it's just like water with food colouring in it, basically.
Agreed.
And it's like, okay, there's someone with a hose standing next to her, like with a tap, you know?
Honestly, make it real vomit. I mean, obviously not raise the film, but you know what I mean? Like, make it orange, make it look like real vomit. Make it
look like bile.
Yeah, do that. That would have been more gross, because I'm just like, oh, we should put ectoplasm in her.
Oh, black vomit.
I've never had ectoplasm. Maybe it tastes good. Like, maybe that's not even that gross. But like, actual vomit, throw up in her mouth like that would have made me like, ugh.
Anyway, it cuts out, and Linda's now talking to Sister Charlotte, and she's like, I'm really worried about Janice. She's like not doing well, like, you know, she's not the same, and blah blah blah. And then Sister Charlotte's trying to like comfort her and all that, and then they go looking for her and they can't find her, and then they run into the barn, and then Janice is sitting on her chair like, oh, I couldn't get out.
Yeah, she's changed. We obviously, last time we saw she had vomit in the mouth.
Yeah.
Now she's back in her chair and she got this grey look to her, like, which you see in possession films all the time. Mm-hmm. So we're like, oh shit, she's been possessed now because she's smiling. So our main protagonist is now possessed. We've lost her, kind of. So now we're following Linda, and Linda has a conversation with Mr. Mullen on the porch. And I just want to say about, he's asking her, like, hey, so I've noticed you've been acting weird. Like, have you been seeing stuff? Which, can I just say, Mr. fucking Mullen, Janice has been our protagonist. She has been the one haunted the most. She was the one thrown down the fucking stairs in his mind. Obviously, we know it was different. But it even made him question his wife. He said, I think the spirit's back. And his wife said, no.
It's been quiet for years, you know. It was just an accident.
So we know he knows something.
Yeah.
But he never once wanted to speak to Janice. But all of a sudden, he wants to speak to Linda.
Yeah.
But like, Linda, what do you think of this? Why are you not speaking to Janice? And you know why? It feels like a lazy film thing.
Yeah. Because they're trying to do character development, but they're doing it in the wrong way.
Well, what I think even lazier is that they've realized that this is the perfect time in the movie for him to finally talk to the kids, but they can't have him talk to Janice because she's now possessed. And they'd have to now write around, how do we write a scene between him asking Janice, like, hey, like, I've heard you've been seeing things, or like you've been feeling a spirit and you've, like, you know, been pushed and hurt. What's going on? She's now possessed. He has to deal with a conversation between the two.
A better film would have just done it. Like, a better film would have just had him talk to Janice and Janice be really creepy and have been like, I don't know what you're talking about. Everything is great. This is my doll, B.
Which would have made him suspicious of her, which would be great later on. But no, he talks to Linda, which is so irrelevant.
But that's the thing. His conversation with Linda will always be irrelevant because in the next scene he dies.
Yeah.
He comes inside the house and he sees Annabelle sitting at the dining table. He grabs a crucifix, which is when he was whittling it when he was talking to his wife, right? And then the demon breaks his fingers, unsticks his fingers.
This is important for later. He looks at the doorway and that's when Janice scoots in on her wheelchair.
Yeah.
But then in the shadows, she stands up out of her wheelchair. Like, her legs heal and she can walk now. Now that's important because for the rest of the film she can walk.
Yeah.
And then she morphs into the demon in the shadows and we just see its glowing eyes. And then what you said.
Yeah. And that's
so it's just important that she can walk now.
It's the coolest death in the fucking film, right? But it's wasted on a character who we don't give a fuck about because until now, the only time we've had any sympathy for him was in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And so they're breaking his fingers and it's really cool because it's like crack and it's like, you know, screaming and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then they kill it. How do they kill him again?
Oh, we don't really see. He sort of just like screams and then Sister Charlotte finds him on the floor and his body's like graying and like he's gone.
Yeah. Anyway.
And that's the thing. This is our first death in this film as well. Well, I mean, if you count the little girl dying in the beginning, but it's our first like horror murder death.
Yeah.
And it's like the beginning of the third act. So it's like we just spent like, and this is like the movie's like an hour, 45 minutes or something. It's like we just spent like almost an hour
watching little girls get haunted in a not scary way.
And we don't even care about them. We learn nothing about them and their personalities, their wants and needs. We're not invested in them. And now we finally get our first like proper death. And it's funny too, because can I say, this happens a lot in their films as well, where their haunts are just these really boring long scenes. Yeah. But the ones where people die are like very quick.
It's because it has to appeal to the people who don't like horror. They're more scared of like, oh, a ghost is over there. Don't go in there. They like it when like their movies are. They used to be event movies, you know. Mm-hmm. Like people would go in there and they'd like scream at the screen like, no, don't go in there. That kind of shit. Yeah. Whereas like, you know, if you're going to watch a movie in the cinema, like fucking, I don't know, Bring Her Back or whatever, you're not going to be there with people who don't like horror movies. You're going to be there with horror fans.
Yeah. So they're like rushing over the deaths and putting more time into the suspension.
Yeah, and the suspension isn't good because...
And that's the thing that gets you when you're watching these films and their formulaic problem is when the haunt's going on too long, you're like, oh, she's going to be fine. Yeah. Literally, it goes on for more than a minute, oh, she's going to be fine. Yeah. So the tension's gone. Yeah. Sister
Charlotte discovers the body. They call the police. It cuts back after the police is done. And then that's when she decides to talk to Mrs. Mullins. Like after all the police shit's over, Mrs. Mullins gives some exposition and we finally learn kind of what happened and how Annabelle came to be. So B dies. They pray to God and whoever else every day would listen, saying, please bring our daughter back in whatever way you can. Like, we want to be here with you. Then they start seeing the doll move and they think that it's B. They start seeing B around the house and they think it's all fine and dandy.
They see her down the hallway. And as Mom said, they couldn't touch her. They couldn't really interact with her either.
Yeah.
But just feeling and seeing her and hearing her presence was so healing to them.
Yeah. And then we finally figure out what the accident was.
Well, what happened was they started to feel presence and then she asked for permission to to take over the doll. And so they gave it permission, which is, you know, obviously this like religious deal. She made like a spiritual deal. So now it's in the doll, but then once it got full permission to be in the doll, it started acting a little bit more dark. The energy was a bit more dark. And then the mother walks in one day
with a crucifix, right?
With a crucifix to her daughter who's drinking tea. And then she suddenly mind you, we find out that the daughter's name is Annabelle.
Yeah,
so B is short for Annabelle.
I'm sorry, who isn't like Belle the like standard short for Annabelle or Anna? I don't know. B is weird.
They called her Buzzy B as well, so it's just a cute thing. Yeah. Also, Annabelle's a long name, so I get it being B, because you go down to Belle, but then you go down to B eventually.
It's not like, what's it called? It's not the first thing I would think of, you know?
So she comes in with the crucifix, and suddenly Annabelle, her daughter,
morphs, and she like transforms.
She grows. Her legs fucking grow like 8 feet tall, but her body stays mostly the same. Yeah. So it's just, imagine an 8-year-old girl.
She's just a very gangly girl now.
But like her legs are twice the size of her torso, length of her torso.
It's giving like Poppy Playtime proportions.
Yes. That's a perfect description.
She like scratches the mum and like pulls an eye out, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And we do see the mum's face now, and you can see that she's still missing that eye, and like it's like a big scratch mark. And it didn't look good. Yeah. It
didn't look good. I don't know if they put a layer of SFX over the makeup, but it didn't look good. The like wound.
Yeah, and so then they said, oh, this is how we dealt with it. We called the priest, he blessed the house, and then we locked the doll in a closet surrounded by pages of the Bible.
And that's what those pages were from earlier.
And again,
can we talk about what we thought on this?
Yeah, because we had our own plans for this, right? Because I said I would bury it. I would put a layer of Bibles underneath, and I'd essentially make a coffin of Bibles. I wouldn't use flimsy fucking pages, and I would put it out, and I would not mark it, so nobody would come out there and fucking dig it up. Or, you know what I mean? No one would interact with it. They put it in... I know that they locked the daughter's room, and they didn't expect the girls to go in there, but in theory, let's say the lock had rusted, or... the door had broken of some kind, the girls are going to get in there, they're going to go do that, right? And then they put it in a cupboard. I'm like, do you know what I mean? Even if they're mentally ill, right, these parents, let's say they have like a fucking, an episode, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm going to kill myself, let me just grab that evil doll and like use that.
It's stupid to me because...
what if your house burns down?
Before you even said bury it, we would, because this conversation happens like many times we're watching a film, it spirals. We literally were just throwing out one-to-one like... way better ideas.
Yeah.
There were multiple
There's a well.
Ideas.
Put it in the well.
Yeah. So many... we landed on burying it, but specifically Bible coffin.
Bible coffin.
You make a coffin or a box out of Bible, put the doll in it, and bury it 8 feet underground.
Again,
somewhere it will never be disturbed.
Again, there are so many things that could happen to this house, right? Like, it's not just the little girls going into that room that could cause it. It could be, there's an issue with the electrics and the house burns down. It could be wood termites that chew a hole through the wall. It could be flooding. It could be an earthquake that would let this evil spirit free. And they chose the most flimsy fucking place to put it.
But also... why even just have it in the house with you?
In it?
You know that there's a spirit in this and you want to contain it. Why would you contain it in the house with you?
Oh my God.
Especially because I don't know anything about this, right? And we can argue up and down. But it feels like this spirit has a connection to these parents. Yeah. It sensed their grief. It latched onto it and it gave them their daughter. Yeah. And there is a part of their daughter in there. There is.
Or at least the image of their daughter.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of her in there.
Yeah.
The tiniest bit, but... there's a connection to these parents. So why would you keep it near you? Like, I don't know, go out into the lands as far as you could and bury it again. Bible coffin. What is your issue? Like, why? And that's why they live... I don't obviously live downstairs because the mother is bedbound. But I also think they live downstairs because they don't want to be upstairs where the fucking doll is.
Again, like, why not just give it to the church? Why did you even take it back?
Yeah. The church blessed the house. Why didn't they take it? That's the doll.
Wrap the doll up in Bible pages and just deliver it. Like a mummy.
Oh, you have to do paper mache.
Okay.
Because the pages won't wrap like...
You're right. Cloth. You know what I mean? And then just give it to the church and be like, hey, could you like burn this in a holy fire or some shit?
And it annoyed me too because I was actually quite glad that they experienced this and they immediately went, oh, let's go get the priest. I was like, oh, great. But then, like, you look it up and I don't know. Maybe a part of them didn't want to let go of it because they did feel like there was a part of their daughter in there. So they wanted to keep it close, even though they wanted to keep it asleep or whatever you want to call it.
Also, this is also another sign of their, like, really surface level writing, where now that Mrs. Mullins has fulfilled her purpose, as soon as Miss Charlotte leaves, and it's like a time skip to a couple of days later or whatever the fuck, right? We hear the bell ringing, and they go into the room, and now Mrs. Mullins has been crucified without her legs. She's literally been torn apart.
Yeah. Like,
immediately after the scene.
And Linda, just before the scene, it is very close, but just before, Linda takes the Annabelle doll from a sleeping Janine.
Oh my god.
Janice, sorry. Janine.
Janice.
Janice, she takes because Janice is now sleeping with the doll on the couch. Because she's fully possessed, right? So Linda takes...
Oh, I was wondering why it said doll in bed on my notes.
There you go. She takes the doll and walks outside. Sister Charlotte sees her and, like, follows her out. But yes, Mrs. Mullins is discovered with her legs gone. And then the next main thing is what happens with Linda and this doll. She goes out to the well and she opens it and she's going to throw the doll in. That's when Sister Charlotte is like, Linda, what are you doing?
Yeah, get away from there. Like, that's dangerous, blah, 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 right? And then she puts the doll in the well, right? And then, like... They don't cover it up again. Like, this isn't like in Coraline where she, like, puts stuff over it and then their, like, hand is, like, barging through. No. They, like, leave the well uncovered for the longest time and then they see the thing, like, what's it called? Doesn't Janine, like, lean over?
Well, what happens is Sister Charlotte...
Linda, yeah.
Yeah, Sister Charlotte's like, let's go. And just turns around. And so Linda starts to follow her, but then hears something. So then Linda, being a kid, kids are dumb, being a kid, turns around to go look over into the well.
And she peers down, and she's being dragged into this well. Sister Charlotte has to run around, grab the kid, pull her out the well, and then cover it up.
No, she doesn't cover it.
Yes, she does. Okay. Yes, she does.
Sorry, I didn't expect anyone to make a smart decision.
She covers the well with that plank of wood that used to be covering it before.
Which is a very flimsy piece of wood that a little girl could move, so... But I'm glad she did it.
Glad she did it, but it didn't fucking help.
But now we're kind of at a point where, like, everyone is kind of split up.
Yeah.
So mainly we have, like, Linda and Sister Charlotte-ish, and then we have the other 4 girls, the 2 oldest and the 2 middles, right?
Yeah.
And they're all just, again, this is how all of their films end. Everyone's split up in the 3rd act, and there's just a multiple haunts happening.
They know, so Janine kind of exposes herself as being, like, possessed. She says some mean things, the girls are like, what the fuck? And then she's walking around and shit, and then... What's it called? The girls kind of run in different directions. I believe Linda runs into one, like, area of the house, and then the other girls run away. And then she offers one of the girls the knife. She's like, do you want to help me? And then she also runs off into a different fucking direction. Yeah. Right? Linda's in this one room hiding, and then the older girls try and, like, start a truck. But it doesn't really work, and so then...
Well, while they're in the truck, this is, again, one of their really interesting visual haunts, but just... Anyway, so as they're trying to turn the truck, the lights of the trucks keep coming on and off.
Yeah.
And in the distance, they can see, in the lights, the scarecrow.
Yeah.
And every time the light goes off, it's dark. And every time it comes on, the scarecrow's head moves slightly. And it's turning his head ever so slightly. It's very creepy, and it's very visually really pleasing. And then when the lights fully come on, it's gone. It disappears. But the truck doesn't start.
Yeah, this truck doesn't start. I believe the girl... I don't remember how this happens, okay? But one of the girls gets into the barn and is, like, locked in there. And then she's banging on the door trying to get out. But the girls have, like, left her there.
Can I say the scene in the barn? There are really good moments of the scene in the barn. And this is such a great example of how they're just like, how do we make interesting scares? And they don't give a shit about anything else.
Yeah.
So essentially... As she's looking around the barn, she sees the scarecrow is now at the other end of the barn. It's not moving though, but in between her and the scarecrow is a stump with an axe in it. So she creeps forward slowly. She pulls the axe, but the handle comes out.
Yeah. And
then she looks over at the scarecrow. It starts, like, coming to life.
Oh yeah, the demon is growing inside the scarecrow, and then it, like...
So its hands are coming out the sleeves.
Yeah. And then it tries to pull his face apart, but we only see the demon's teeth.
The scarecrow's face was like a potato sack.
Yeah.
But this is a really cool shot because it is, like... got some practical to it.
Yeah.
But, like, they rip open...
The demon looks bad, though.
The potato sack. Yeah. But this is why they should have kept it scarecrow.
Yeah.
Because as it opens up the potato sack, it only gets the mouth open.
Yeah.
And the demon mouth and the dark, like, flesh underneath this, like, sack, that was creepy. Keep that. Go with that for this scare. But instead, they make the demon disappear, and she notices that there's a light bulb above her that's being, like, turned as if it's trying to go off.
And while the demon is coming to life, she gets on a stepladder and screws the light bulb in properly. Meanwhile... It doesn't even last because then the light just bursts and she falls down the stepladder.
it does something funny, actually.
Oh, does it?
So the demon disappears from behind her while she's fixing the light bulb. And then as the light shines brighter, you see the demon is now next to her, clinging onto the ceiling.
Oh, I didn't see that.
But it's in its full, like, black leather skin demon form, which is I think the clearest shot you get of it. And it was like, it looked like full, like, a body makeup and stuff. I'm sure there was SFX added, but it was interesting, but it wasn't very scary. But then the demon either punches or grabs, but it, like, punches the light out. So it's like she screws it back in, and the demon's like, okay, I'll just
yeah, and she falls down the ladder.
So it was quite funny seeing the demon just, like, punch the light out. Was funny to me. Don't know if that was intention, but I love little funny bits like that in horror. And the thing that gets me about this third act of them being split up is, like I said, it's what they do in all their films. This can be so fun in a horror film. There's so many other horror films that do this, but it's fun because the characters are funny, interesting, or you're invested in them. You know, take like Scream. The final sort of like scenes of Scream is just everyone being chased around a house. Most of them is just everyone being chased around one house by this like ghost guy. And it's fun because you're seeing people like tumbling away, struggling to like get through a window, kicking him away, like... And there's a bit of humor, you know, they're like cussing out the fucking like ghost face, you know. It's like funny.
I think it's Scream 6 was a really good one when in the like New York City apartment. And then
with the ladder across the window.
Yeah.
So good. See, moments like that, like you're following them, but the characters are interesting.
Because they're inventive, you know, the filmmakers are thinking, what would I do in this situation?
Whereas in these films, there's never moments like Scream takes it to the extreme, obviously very like famously, where they're like just constantly punching and kicking the evil.
Yeah.
But in most horror films, there's a moment of like surviving it. Whereas in all of these Conjuring films,
even in Halloween, she uses a knitting needle to stab the guy.
In these films, and I understand it's because it's supernatural and it's all ghosts, but in this film, it's just experiencing it. They literally just run from room to room, seeing something scary, and then running away from it.
Being attacked, and then like...
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's never like an interesting attack. It's like a flesh wound stab, or it's like being thrown around. And if it's children, it's always being thrown around.
Yeah. We want to see people like fight, but not necessarily fight back. We want to see them like in their own efforts survive something.
Yeah.
But it literally just sometimes the kids running from room to room, seeing something scary and then running to the next one, which is what happens to her with this demon punching out the light, because she just runs into a side room, which is like the doll workshop, and then she's like, she locks the door and she's like, oh my god, and then behind her is her friend who comes through the window and is like, girl, come with me. That's it. We just saw something scary. She didn't do anything that like, I don't know.
There's a semi-cool scene where Linda's in the dumbwaiter and she like goes down to the bottom floor, sees like Mrs. Mullins like crawling towards her, and then like pulls herself back up, but she's kind of stuck in between them.
And this kind of did what you wanted, because when we saw the dumbwaiter, you brought up a scene from
Haunting of Hill House,
where they go to the bottom floor and there's this like new room.
Yeah,
which is kind of what they did here.
Yeah,
there was some sort of like basement chapel we hadn't known about or heard, and I don't know if it's real, if it was kind of like a haunted thing.
Yeah,
but that was cool. And you see the demon hands pulling it down, and this is quite funny. She like, the demon is like clinging onto the dumbwaiter and she like hits its fingers with like a torch and it sort of like falls down. Yeah. Which is quite funny. I don't know. It was just so like Home Alone.
Yeah. By the way, we completely forgot to mention that the reason all the girls are running around is because Janice had picked up the nun and thrown her against a wall and knocked her out. And that's why all these kids were running around the house doing all this shit. In the meantime, right, while all this shit was happening, the nun has woken up and like, she ends up locking Janice in the Bible closet. Oh, yeah. I'm missing a haunt. I know I'm missing a haunt.
Well, I was just... Okay, girl.
No, I know. But I thought you were going to say, actually, you're missing this haunt. I'm like, I don't care. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to lie. I don't know what haunt you're missing.
Okay.
What I was going to say is, because I just realised that we were very, like, undetailed about it. Just to clarify, just with that whole scene, there were only two threats. And it was the dark-skinned demon. And it was Janice, who was... I don't remember what she did. You're right. We're missing a hump. I don't know what it is. But she was also going around scaring the girls.
Yeah, especially Linda. She was targeting Linda.
Yeah, but I don't remember what she did.
No, I don't remember what.
But all I know is she ends up in a room with Linda and she's going to like stab Linda. She's like, you said we'd be sisters forever. Oh, you would...
Even though you broke your promise first.
Yeah. But then that's when, and I love this moment, sorry, because I wanted to give it justice. It's my favorite moment of Sister Charlotte. She hits Janice with the quickest fucking swiftness I had ever seen in any of these films. And these are the moments I want. Yeah. Because you obviously can't typically defend yourself against a ghost, but she does it here. Yeah. Where as Janice is about to stab Linda, Sister Charlotte appears behind her, grabs her arm, yoinks her back, right? Like a spoiled child. And so Janice turns around and tries to stab Sister Charlotte. But Sister Charlotte, in her other hand, is holding Annabelle. So she pulls Annabelle, the doll, to her side, and then Janice ends up accidentally stabbing Annabelle, aka Sister Charlotte blocks that shit,
With the evil conduit that's kind of holding all this power in it.
And then and I can't like express enough how swift this is. It's yoink back, stab block, immediately puts rosemary beads over her neck and tosses the bitch into the closet, slam, lock.
I think she also puts Annabelle in the closet.
She does. Annabelle and her into the closet, slam, lock. But it's so quick. And I was just like, where did she train? Like, what did she do before she was a nun? Because the quickness of this, the fierceness, but also what I will say, I like her character and I think that she's forgivable because...
Oh, she's the most interesting character. Not interesting, but she's the most competent character in this film, which automatically puts her at the top because all the other characters are fucking idiots.
And it's one of those situations where we don't get to see many points of her being competent, but it's just because she doesn't know. Yeah. But as soon as she knows, we see her do basically 3 feats, which is 2 good, 1 bad. One is saving Linda from the well. Mm-hmm. The bad one is when they realize that Janice is haunted and she kind of gets her ass whooped. But then the second one is when she's like, okay, I know the situation now. And she comes back and she swiftly block, rosemary bead, closet, lock. And I was like, love you, girl.
She carries Linda out of the house. Mm-hmm. All of the girls are now out of the house. And then I don't remember why this happens, but the house explodes.
Well, basically, when she's locked in the closet, it starts to boom and shake because Annabelle's trying to escape. Yeah. And through that like destructive power, the house starts to crumble and it explodes while they're outside.
It explodes.
Oh, actually, it doesn't fully explode, does it? Because they go back into the house afterwards.
Yeah, but it's not like destroyed. It's just like all the windows come out.
The windows and the lights explode.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's why it looked like an explosion. So all the glass in the house breaks. They kill the police, and then as the police are investigating the house, they find, like, in the Bible closet, there's, like, a hole in it. So, obviously, Annabelle's escaped somehow. Janice is gone completely.
Yeah. Well, like, she's missing. Still in there.
Annabelle the doll's still in there. But the spirit is with fucking Janice. And Janice is gone.
She crawled through that hole.
One of the priests does this thing. It's like, oh, look, there was a doll in here. Who gets it? And then the girls are just, like, looking at the doll, like, so traumatized.
And then they have this cute scene where they put the Annabelle in the police car like boot, and then all of the girls, well, remaining girls because Janice is gone, but all of the little girls close the boot together, like all 5 of them. It's cute, but here's the thing, that moment would pay off way more if I cared about any of them.
Also, I don't think half of them knew that the doll was related to any of it. They just knew that Janice was possessed. The only ones who knew were Linda and Janice, and maybe and Mrs. Charlotte.
That is true, but what I will say is, by the point they're doing that, it's after the police investigation and it's also after the priest blesses it. So there was plenty of time. And also the priest comes out in front of all of them and says, this is just a doll now. The spirit's gone. So like...
They could get it from context, but yeah, I know
if they hadn't already in between the time skip.
Yeah. They kind of get on another bus. I'm like, where the fuck are you going to go now? The Mullins are dead. Like, did you inherit their money or something?
Also, I want to know why... This is a little bit of throwback, but why is it when Janice was haunting everyone and stabbing them with knives, when she came across the one black girl, she goes... You could just help me, and like turns the handle of the knife to her. It's
what's it called? It's racial profiling. They're like, you'd be great at this,
right? That's how it felt. No, I'm joking, but also I'm just saying. Every other white girl, she was like, "Oh, I gotta kill you," and then the one black girl, she was like, "You could just help me."
She's like, "What's your postcode?"
I mean, do we put it past a demon to be racist? Anyway,
we get like it feels like there's so many like. And after all of this stuff happened, this is what happened. Like PS, and then PPPS, you know?
Yeah, and then PPPS, and then a little mini trailer for the next film.
Yeah, so, okay, I'm going to just go through them real quick, because I'm actually so done with this, okay? Yeah, so Janice has now been... So Janice is at another orphanage far away.
A city one, it's like a city.
Like a not a nun orphanage.
Yeah.
She says her name is Annabelle. She gets adopted by this couple.
She looks healthy now, too. She's glowing. She can walk still.
Yeah. She gets adopted by this couple, and then it cuts to, like, years later when she's...
12 years, I think.
I don't know.
12. I believe it's another 12.
She's an adult now, and then she kills this couple.
Her parents.
Yeah, she kills her parents.
Yeah, she comes in and like, Annabelle, because she goes by Annabelle.
Yeah.
Annabelle, what are you doing? And there's a strange man with her.
Yeah, we don't know who the fuck he is.
Yeah, and they just stab them.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, I think maybe this man might be in one of the other films.
Maybe.
I'm guessing. Because what happens is, as they're stabbing their parents, it cuts to a random blonde lady in bed who wakes up, and it's kind of implied that she's dreaming.
She's like, I had a vision.
Having a vision.
Yeah. Doesn't she, that song, You Are My Sunshine, is playing, I thought it was diegetic, but it wasn't diegetic.
I can't remember.
I don't know. Because the thing is like...
She wakes up her husband,
and
they go outside.
They go outside, and that's why I thought that You Are My Sunshine was playing in the car radio, but it might not have been. Anyway,
well, my assumption is that guy who was stabbing with her is going to be in one of the other films.
Yeah.
And this blonde lady, we kind of think that it was probably Linda. We don't know.
I think it was Linda.
Okay, but she's clearly having a vision of this, which we think is connected, God, stay with me now, to Irene, who in Nun 1 is able to have visions.
Yeah. We think she's also a psychic, maybe?
Yes. So, and we know, and this isn't spoiling anything, but I'm just going to say it now for relevance to this, that there is kind of a thing where people are a certain descendant of a particular seer. And so my theory for the series is that like Linda, or this blonde stranger at the end, and Irene are these like descendants of this seer, and they have this ability.
Yeah.
Although it's interesting that like, if it is Linda, we didn't see it when she was a little girl, but we see it now.
Maybe it manifested after the evil was exposed to her.
To be fair, I think Irene's kind of manifested when her mother was taken away, which was about the same age that Linda was.
There's an after credits where the nun is in the after credits and they advertise that.
Yeah, it's just like a flash of the nun's face. And it's like,
what?
What's coming?
And it's like, that wasn't relevant to this doll movie at all. What does that mean? So,
I'm going to do my review first.
Go on then.
I gave this a 1.5. Maybe that was generous, but I gave it a 1.5. I really struggled to care about anyone. It's incredibly rushed, but also super long at the same time. The formula that they keep using is incredibly boring and ineffective. The scare sequences have some of the most interesting and innovative cinematography and really creative ideas. And when they're executed well, I'm really impressed. But that's all the film has going for it. And mind you, even the thing it has that's good about it, only a handful of them, the big main ones, are the good ones. And everything else is just the same, follow me, behind you, kind of fucking hide and seek with a ghost shit, which is tiring as fuck. And I honestly can't even wait to like do the next film because I want to talk about secrets. It's the worst of this. Yeah, execution is meh. Yeah, that's my whole review.
I missed out, but apparently there was this one shot of Annabelle after, like, before the nun jump scare. There was one of like Annabelle, and then they heard the like music box thing that's very associated with the Annabelle. I only know it because of the trailers, but yeah.
I think they were implying that there was still some kind of evil in the Annabelle doll.
But she was one of 100. Maybe there's 100 Annabelles out there.
Yeah, but only one of them had the demon in it. Unless somehow when they made the deal for it to possess the doll, it meant any Annabelle doll that's out there.
Maybe. I guess we'll find out.
Because, you know, the devil plays tricks, you know?
Yeah. Maybe the souls just split up. Or maybe Janice put...
Contracts have loopholes. Maybe that's one of them.
Maybe they wanted a proper, like, immortal body, and a doll is immortal, kind of, you know? Can't really age out, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, my thoughts were...
Oh, wait, there was a cute reference as well. When the adoption couple adopt Janice, who is now Annabelle, they give her a rag doll.
Oh, Raggedy Ann.
The original Raggedy Ann,
which is
Annabelle.
The real Annabelle.
Which is just a cute little thing. Little Easter egg, whatever you want to call it. Sorry, I wanted to mention that, I just remembered.
My thoughts were, it was more imaginative than The Nun, although that's not really saying much. But I didn't care about any of the characters. I actually cared about Sister Irene and the priest and Frenchie more in The Nun than I cared about these guys. Yeah. So I did give it a 1.5 as well. I also have a list of questions that I wonder if they're going to get answered in the other film. So I'm going to say them now so that I can, you know, remember them later.
Yeah, you won't remember, but yeah, go on.
Fuck you. Maybe the viewer will remember and tell me if they've been answered.
They won't. Let's hear the questions. Why is film bad? No.
Right? Raises questions about Annabelle because of our watch order, right?
Oh yeah, because this is the sequel.
Because the thing is, she's not in the doll anymore.
So how does she get back in it for the film?
Yeah, to do that weird, stupid like thing. So yeah, how did Annabelle get back into the doll? What's going to happen to Janice, obviously, and then who the fuck is that woman?
The blonde woman.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you know what was so weird? The whole time we were watching this movie, I was thinking back to, you know, when J.D. Vance was doing his tours and he, like, broke that cup and then, like, he went to India and then war almost broke out and shit?
Yeah.
He was on a tour of the US and the Annabelle doll case broke because that was also on a tour of the US and they were in the same city at the same time.
Oh, yes, I did hear that.
And I was just like, wait, is Janice J.D. Vance?
Janice! Johnny Vance!
J.D.!
Last thing for the actor episode, I thought it would be fun since it's our second Conjuring. If we would do like a ranking system, and I'll try and keep track of it so we can rank all of the films. Okay. So far we watched 2, The Nun and now Annabelle Creation. Which one do you prefer? I know they both have their issues.
They both have the issues. I did rate this one higher than The Nun.
I don't remember what I rated. But we'll check later. So I don't remember. But what I'm going to say is from watching them, regardless of my rating, I think I did prefer The Nun.
Yeah, I think so. The only issue I had with The Nun is it was all dark and I can't see very well. And so I couldn't see a lot of the scares. I also couldn't see a lot of the scares in this one, but I could see more of them. And that's why I'm like that. But there's just too many fodder, like filler characters for me to care. And so obviously I'm going to remember Sister Irene more than I'm going to remember Linda and Janice.
And Frenchie.
Yeah.
Honestly, even the Abeth, what's it called?
Abyss.
The Abyss.
That was
the
a cool,
creepy looking one.
yeah.
I remember her more. That film had, like I said, way less characters, but even the ones it had, it cared about them more. It built them out, so I had someone to care about. These characters were nothing. They were two-dimensional. Even Sister Charlotte, she's just a well-meaning nun. She has nothing to her.
Yeah.
Besides the Easter egg that she was, once at the haunted church right before it got haunted. So we wasn't even there for the interesting bit. But she's such a nothing burger. These characters are so self-contained to this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Annabelle just is from this random couple who lives in the middle of nowhere whose daughter died. And now they're both dead.
Do you know what we should do? We should do like a tier list ranking video after we've done all the Conjuring movies.
Yeah, I thought we'd do like a 100%. But yeah, for me, far more interesting character-wise. And there was some really... again, all the films have interesting ideas for scares, so I won't say that. I will say Annabelle Creation had slightly better execution, slightly better cinematography, and slightly better SFX with a kind of mix of physical and non-physical. But it meant nothing when I didn't give a shit about the story. I didn't give a shit about the people, and I didn't give a shit about the location. Unlike, at least with the nun, Irene was a fun character to relate to and follow, and Frenchie was cute and funny, and the priest was stoic and had secrets.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm done talking about this movie. I'm sorry, I've had enough. I don't have anything to say. Like, these movies are such nothing burgers.
So which one are you picking?
I guess The Nun. I mean, I don't care. The thing is, I know very much it's appealing to people who don't like horror, right? But even then, I'm like, I just don't see why they would like it either, because they're not good movies in general.
That's the perfect last line.
Yeah.
Anyway, please follow us on our social media. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok mainly. Obviously, we're on YouTube. If you don't watch on YouTube,
and wherever you get your podcast, and also on Letterboxd.
We will see you guys in the next one. Thank you. God bless.
Bye.
Ooh, why did I do that? Oh, because the nuns. Bye.